Hello everyone, we are going to talk about networking with Java socket programming today. Our content is what's the socket programming, history and who invented, what kind of problems does it solve, what prerequisites, socket and server socket class, on which platforms can it run, how can we install, conclusion and example. Let's start. What is the socket programming? Socket programming used to make connection between processes or machines which communicating each other. It works based on client and server model. So we can think as a channel on the network where data packets incoming and outgoing. History and who invented. Socket concept is defined by Joel M. Minot in 1971 at Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and you can see definition of socket under the RFC 147. RFC is a document which include all the definitions of internet protocols. Also, socket used in the structure of ARPANET first time. ARPANET is the world's first packet distribution network and the pioneer of the universal internet. And socket improved over time and released new versions. Many socket versions are based on Berkeley sockets today, and Berkeley sockets are released in 1983. This socket originated Unix operating system. After that, POSIX sockets released, and there are 4 different socket types for different usage here. These are TCP, UDP, Unix, and RAW sockets. What kind of problems does it solve? Today, most internet-based and real-time applications work with sockets. It makes easier network connectivity of devices. Real-time applications, receiving and sending data, internet protocols use socket structure. It provides communication between processes, users, or machines. Communication protocols, many communication protocols like HTTP, FTP, SMTP built on socket structure. File transmission realizes with sockets. We can make real-time applications on chat or file transmission applications using socket structure. For example, Messenger and WhatsApp use socket programming for chatting. At the same time, there are different socket types for different protocol usage. These are that I mentioned, TCP and UDP sockets. There's another structure similar to sockets, it's pipe, but they are not the same thing. Pipes are implemented in a memory on a single host and run with the processes. So they are fast. Both pipes and sockets handled by streams with different base. But usage of socket is wider than pipes. It can work with different hosts, so it's flexible and sufficient. What prerequisites? We can make socket programming on the many programming language. Most of them has needed class or library. So we need to programming knowledge to make it. We will use Java language at this tutorial. By the way, we should know essential network terms, TCP, UDP, like IP, because socket programming is a structure which be in the network directly. Now we will examine the socket class. Socket class used to create socket. These are some important method. As you see, get input stream method returns the input stream attached with the socket. Get output stream method returns the output stream attached with the socket, and close method close this socket. We need to some libraries. These are, as you see, Java.NET and Java IO library. For creating server socket SS equal to new server sockets. This step takes a port number, as you see. We can give any port number here. Socket as equal to SS that accept. This establishes connection and waits for the client. For creating client, socket as equal to new socket, we can write here. You can give any port number here again. First parameter can host. You can write here as a string directly host, or you can give your host number here, as you see. It takes both host and port number. Now we will examine the server socket class. Server socket class used to create a server socket. These are some important methods. Accept and close method. Accept method returns to socket and establish a connection between server and client. Close method closes the server socket. On which platforms can it run? Java is a platform independent language, as you know, so which we implemented socket with Java can run on different operating systems. These are, as you see, Windows, Linux, Mac, iOS, Android, and etc. How can we install? There are many integrated development environments for Java. These are NetBeans, Eclipse, IntelliJ, and etc. You can upload with the following links. We will use NetBeans. For NetBeans, you can click this link and follow this link. Choose your own operating system and accept all installation instructions. You can easily download it. Conclusion. As you see, networked devices need the socket structure to realize connectivity. Socket structure take host and port numbers, so we don't need to identify one by one. It makes easier to implement general communications. But sometimes building connection is impossible caused by security restrictions, so hosts may reject requests. Now I am going to show how we create a socket and how we send message between server and client side. We should think as server and client are two different machines, as you know, so you can create two different projects or two different classes with the main methods. Here I created two different projects for both server and client side. Firstly, let's start from server part. I created server socket, equal to new server socket. It takes a port number here. I give 2020. You can give any port number here. Here, this object throws an exception. You can use try, catch, or throws keywords on the main method to catch IO exception. I use throws keywords on the main method. Here, I create a socket object, socket client equal to server that accept. Server accept method enables the connection between client and server. Firstly, we will make read data. I create input stream reader object to read data. This object get input stream parameter from client. With this way, I can read data come from client side as a byte. But I want to read line by line. For make this, you can create a buffered reader object. For make this, it's useful. I create buffered reader object here. As you can see, this object take an object from stream reader. These are read side of server. Now we will make write side to show response coming from client side. I create an object to write data as print. I used to get input stream method to read data. Now I will use get output stream to write. Related class is print writer class. This take get output stream method from client side. All of these are needed structure to show response coming from client side. So server side is read to show response. Now we will read response coming from client. I create a string. It will be response of client. It will be empty now. Incoming data equal to br.readline. This is the read response. Br is the buffered reader object. Now we can show it. I write the system of printline method with incoming data. Now we want to send message to client side. For this, I will take message from console. As you know, you can create a scanner object. I create a scanner object here. Scanner equal to new scanner. System.in string outgoing data. I define outgoing data as a string and assign the scanner.nextLine method. After that, I write print.println method to send message. It takes string that I read from console. With print.flash method, our message don't wait on the buffer. It goes to client side directly, so flash method is useful and important here. Server part finished now. Both server and client sides will work concurrently to send and receive data, so that we can apply while loop except the socket side. Our port number is 2020. We will use at the client side. Now we can make a client side. We will make a client side. Now I create here a socket object again. Socket client equal to new socket. You can write here localhost your localhost, or you can give your port number here. Localhost number here. Right parameter is a port number. Our port number is 2020, as you know. This time socket take host and port number as a parameter. Everything else is the same with the server side. Our client side is ready. Now we can test it, we can run it. Now firstly we should run the server side and then client side. We can give any input here. As you see, our implementation, our code is worked successfully. Thank you for listening.